So much on the line now, a best of 3 between FaZe Clan and compLexity Gaming. One, an incredibly dark horse who's already sent North America's favorite home, NRG, of course, breezed through the minors, breezed through the challenger stages, but were met by compLexity at their weakest hour. Now compLexity face a tall task. FaZe Clan stand between them and continuing here in Katowice, and of course a lot of legacy alongside them. compLexity now face a team full of Guardian, Rain. I mean, the fact that olofmeister is the only player now to have had legends, quote unquote, didn't always have legends, legend status from every single major. compLexity could take that away from him today. There is so much on the line, and it starts right now, Sean.
Yes, it does. And Guardian, actually, you mentioned him first. He's been having a phenomenal event. We know him to step up time and time again at the majors. And this is no exception, actually.
Yeah.
He mentioned in an interview on HLTV, this is the most prepared he feels like any iteration of FaZe has been coming into a major.
And as you can see, some of those incredible frags going down. compLexity, I believe, they did impress us. Of course, let's not forget that they have gone through quite a renovation, I suppose, since we last saw them in London, removing 2 of what were mostly their most praised individuals. I had a little look at Ye. You can see him in the kill feed there. He did a statement talking about his problems, of course, since his departure in the team, and of course, looking to return to the world of Counter-Strike. But what this compLexity has managed to do is certainly put Stan in a good position, but can they put FaZe in a bad one? Maps is where I want to take this conversation, Jacob, and I truly don't know what to expect. So a win against NRG on Nuke, does that mean it's possible going to be that cold draft?
It could go through, I think, because Renegades and FaZe, they were also having a veto process against each other, and Nuke was left out. Renegades could have chosen to play Nuke against FaZe in that matchup. They stayed away from it, so it is definitely a possibility now. FaZe decided to ban it, so it's not going to happen this time around. Cash Mirage makes sense. Third map looks to be, what is that? We're missing Dust 2? Yeah, sure. It makes sense to play Cash. I feel for FaZe Clan, it's a very open map, a map that allows for the individuals to come out and flourish. So in that regard, it's a good map for FaZe Clan, but as said, you know, we talked about the identity that FaZe Clan is trying to put on themselves. They're trying to re-innovate this lineup. They're trying to put in a new style of Counter-Strike, a way more structured style of Counter-Strike. So playing Cash, I mean, that's going to be interesting to see how they're going to approach that. Okay,
so new structured Counter-Strike, and yet the veto leaves us with probably, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Sean, 3 of the most aim-driven and pug-friendly maps in the map pool.
Yeah, probably so, probably so. But, I mean, you can get a little bit innovative on these maps.
What, Mirage? Yeah, innovate for me.
Not so much Mirage. Let's skip over Mirage.
Okay.
We can get innovative on Cash and Dust 2. I think FaZe historically has been very good on Cash, and they actually played compLexity on Cash at the E-League Invitational, and they 16-2'd them.
Yeah.
So they're probably feeling pretty confident about Cash, and I don't blame them, because that match, when I watched it, was just a complete slaughter. Nico destroyed them.
It is a scenario right now where FaZe is trying to take the best from both worlds. I think the FaZe lineup we know them to be was this very individual style heavy lineup. You had the guys like Guardian, olofmeister. You can keep saying the same names, Nico as well for that matter. But bringing in Ryan K as a coach, that adds an extra layer to the lineup. So if they can take the best from both worlds and sort of implement some of that structure into some of those open maps that you were describing them as, then that will make FaZe an even different beast and give them a different look. Now, whatever that's going to be able to do that already now, this early, is a good question. I mean, you said it yourself yesterday, using the word time. That's a buzzword of the analysis test, but I think FaZe is one of those teams right now that could use a little more time with this style of Counter-Strike.
You can see Nico on your screens there, and of course the other side of things, compLexity. All smiles from the North American roster. Jordan, nothing killed, but always got that smirk on his face. And it really is globally offensive. I mean, I took a look at this. Imagine my surprise if you looked back, if you looked at this page, this match page 5 years ago, you wouldn't have believed it. We have a UK player, a Canadian, two Americans, and an Aussie on compLexity. And then you've got 5 separate nationalities all over the world. You've got Bosnia, of course, from Nico, Norway, Slovakia, Sweden, and Kazakhstan, all playing in the server today.
9 different nationalities.
Isn't that that's just testament to how this game has grown? Because not that long ago, I could sit on an analyst desk and go, the Swedes versus the French, and that would cover my bases. Not anymore.
Not even for a North American team like compLexity. You know, you mentioned it. They have 4 different nationalities on their team. That's incredible.
Yeah. And of course, are you capable?
You'd see this, Jacob?
Nah, I mean, I was offered once to play on an international team, and I was like, nah, that's not gonna fly.
That's not a thing.
That's not gonna fly. It's not a thing, man. English, nah.
And now look at you, just straight up English all day, every day. I mean,
come alive all of a sudden, yeah.
Yeah, this is just, I think it's awesome because it is just proof that we are now just, it's more talent than it is just being known in your region, being known from the LAN cafe down the road. We are global.
To put some history into it, right? It was actually the first iteration of FaZe Clan that started all of this. Back when they were called Kingwin, I believe, when Scream was on the lineup, Michael Lillard was on the lineup. Those were the first guys to try that out. They later on became FaZe, and now we see this iteration of FaZe. So going all the way back to 2015, I believe that was the first time we saw the first big international team. Now, we talked about similarities between these two lineups, right? You brought in Adrian as far as I'm concerned, as far as I understand it publicly at least, he's a stand-in for this event. He's on a trial, some sort of. Sure. Whereas the same thing is going on for nothing right now. So we already established that there are a lot of similarities, obviously just working on two different levels.
Yeah, and I think that's where I want to take this conversation, to just leave it, of course, when we jump into our first map. But the last point I want to converse is FaZe and respect. Now, this is a team that I've no doubt, no absence of confidence. There is no question in my mind they are confident stepping into this game. But that no-respect style of Counter-Strike, is that the kind of thing you're expecting to see, Sean, at least out of the gates, just walking into sites, popping heads until Stan forces them to respect?
So I want to say no, but at the same time, I know Yanko's mindset is he wants to, step on the other team's throat and just basically demolish them from the get-go, and that's what he wanted to do in MIBR with Fallen. He revitalized Fallen, last major. I thought Fallen looked so good. So I can see them, I can see them definitely coming out here and just being hyper-aggressive across the map.
I think they need to, if they want to get off to a good start. They need to feel that they're so much better than compLexity. Putting in some perspective to it, right? We're talking about some of the best players in the entire world, all gathered up on one team, whereas you're facing a compLexity that, rightfully so, they had a good major last time around, but ever since we haven't really seen them done anything. It's a team that is going to DreamHack Opens and still burning out of group stages, not really getting anything done. So the fact that they're able to sit here in a match against FaZe and still, they're the underdog, but we still have a little bit of faith that they can actually push FaZe to some degree. That's quite, I don't even know how to word that. That's just wild in my imagination.
I just don't see a world where FaZe or Nico or anyone, Yanko for that matter, is going to be underestimating compLexity at this point. You lose this game to a pocket strat, to Shazam going off, to Def going off, of course, UK represent. Any of those factors, I don't think you're going to be willing to play risky Counter-Strike on an elimination game at the major.
But I think we've gotten to the point, Alex, where it doesn't matter. The tiers between Counter-Strike are kind of bleeding at this point, and if you're not Astralis or Liquid, you can get upset by anyone, in my opinion. And I don't think FaZe is necessarily safe, and this is a 100% bet that FaZe is definitely going to win this game, especially given the first two maps are Cash and Mirage.
I definitely agree. Also, considering, you said it yourself, Alex, confidence. That is a word that always has been surrounding the FaZe lineup, that they're so individual skills that the confidence of the team is going to be enough to win certain games. This time around, though, like Olofmeister not having a great tournament, Rain, he's been a shadow of himself for a long time, and I actually think that he may be the most influential player on that FaZe lineup. When he's playing well, it seems to elevate all the other guys in FaZe as well. So him having a bad tournament, that's not a good sign coming into this one at all.
Another kind of thread to pull on, of course, as you look over the FaZe roster, there is Rain, of course, an influential member, as Jacob rightly outlines. It's Guardian, and the story
Rain
of trophies.
Used to be one of the best players in the world. He used to be one of the most consistent players in the world as well. We just haven't seen that the past 6 months at all.
Especially when it comes to CT side. When you used to watch Rain, I actually made a video of him on his CT Mirage. He was unstoppable at that A bomb site, and we haven't seen that form out of him lately.
We need to see the individuals find form again. FaZe on the ropes, compLexity too, and just one will keep their head above water here in Katowice. An elimination game, FaZe, compLexity. Back to your casters to jump into the counter.
Both teams probably didn't expect to be here. One may not want it to, one will be happy to be. That's compLexity, who took down Energy in spectacular fashion. 2 overtime games, one of which went to double overtime. FaZe, on the other hand, they would have loved to have already been in the playoffs at this point.
Absolutely, and the good thing for compLexity is they've got nothing to lose, really. They've already escaped the 0 and 3. They don't have to go back to the minors. And here we go, it's a CT start for FaZe, and the analyst talked about that aggression. It's coming in right here. Stanislaw will open things up. Great performance the other day on Cash, as they have the man advance here. But here's Nico with the USP at the back of the site. He needs some players to assist him at this stage as it keeps trading. We're going to have a 3 versus 2 in favor of compLexity for now.
Rain still holds off toward the heaven. He wants to drop down. Def's actually got him on arrival, so it is the round to compLexity to start it off on Cash. Cash being one of the 2 maps they had success on.
Absolutely.
It was Shazam's incredible 1 versus 3 in the overtime that won the mid. It was a bit of fluff lines per Energy, perhaps, but either way, here we are. FaZe, just to note, with Olof on board, they mentioned it on the desk, the last remaining legend. I say that in terms of been a legend at every single major.
Which is quite the feat, I have to say. Goes to show you that he is an absolute star of the game, always has been. And hopefully, always will be. They've got 2 best of 3 to make it to that stage of the tournament. Full eco for FaZe right now. They're going for the 5-man B stack. This could find them a couple of kills. You can see Stanislaw outside with the UMP, just going through the procedure here. Just trying to get some information, checking all the key positions. If he walks in and goes down, they can actually commit towards A, no problem. He's found the stack. He doesn't go down at this stage. Gets 1.5 kills and nothing to clear up.
Spray back in with the Mac-10. Nothing gets 2 for his troubles. Gets dicked in the process. He'll go down. He's already got that $1,200 cash reward. And it's just Nico and Rain remaining. They'll grab the SMGs. Those will still have some validity in the next round for the CT side. The other benefit to them is that they can also go for kills themselves. So stack Nico inside of the vents. He can control his peak. He might get 1 more. 2 AKs, excuse me, 2 rifles. One's a Galil, but they don't need to get too aggressive at this point. You don't want to give those to the CTs this early. And there we go. SMGs went hunting instead. Don't get anything for it.
Well, there we have it. Actually, that's fine for compLexity. They give out 2 kills, but they detect the B stack. They safely win the round. And we go into what should be rifles here for FaZe. You're going to have Augs in the hands of Olofmeister and Rain. M4s for the other 3. No AWP yet. Nico gets the kit. We'll see if they can answer back. Cash, one of the few maps where the CTs can be aggressive, go on the offense if they fancy it. I'm sure we'll see plenty of that. Maybe not this round, considering they just want to play it safe for now. They'll smoke towards the A main entrance. And looks like they may be flashing through it. They're going to have a couple of players up close, but might just go for the boost here. Double grenade will do a ton of damage. Rain goes down. Shazam finds him. They haven't used any of the utility yet, really, as Def with the Mac-10, trying to cause a little bit of chaos towards a forklift, and he's done more than that. HE grenade perfectly placed, and will take Olofmeister. It's a 5 versus 3. Guardian holding towards checkers. He no longer has anything to hold off B. And we sat there solo with the M4, and that's why he has to play an angle like this. He desperately needs a kill if they have any chance in this round.
Guardian's gonna rotate back in. He's forced off. Let's go back to Tree. Molotov as well. That pushes him even further off the angle, so if he was holding in the corner, it would do damage. Flash, they're doing everything. So even he can't spray through the smoke. Not a chance to even catch anyone in transition as they get the bomb out of the site. He backs off further, and they're going to just call it. They have to. You're right. They had no chance unless Guardian was able to somehow be aggressive. And Def's going to hunt them down with the Mac-10. He can justify this.
He definitely can. Every kill he gets will have a knock-on effect. That one is absolutely brilliant. He really impressed us with his rifling and his general aim. And then when he picked up the AWP, sure, we're still finding the occasional frag, but we preferred it when he's staying on these rifles. Really talented player as we head into these 2 CTs trying to save what they can in spawn. They know exactly where they are now. Ricky, try and find the next frag here. He knows they're towards his position. He might be able to get both, or at least one of them, and he'll set Shazam up for the slam dunk. It's going to be 3-0 for compLexity here. Another eco for FaZe.
Yeah, keep an eye, just obviously going on to an eco, not this round, but how many times they bring out the M4 versus the AUG. They seem to be one of the most stubborn teams still in that regard. And sure, you can complain all day that Nico, quote, verbatim, roughly, noob gun, whatever. You can be like Scream and put it on your Instagram story, your Twitter, probably talk about it on your stream. Doesn't change the fact that it's in the game, teams are using it, and they're taking advantage of it. If you're not willing to adapt, you'll just get run over. So that if they fall shy, that's something to talk about.
I hear their concerns and understand what they're saying, but it doesn't do you any good not using it, you know? If it does seem to be giving a slight advantage, even if it's a few percent, that could be the edge. And we're getting to round number 4 here. Again, FaZe save nothing as they head towards CT spawn. They'll have to go with Deagles, no armor. A couple of flashbangs will probably pounce towards A main eventually. Stanislaw gets in position. He really did light up the scoreboard the other day. 45 kills. We'll see if he can replicate that. There's the push and the flashbang. But Stanislaw, with that AUG, takes him down.
45 kills and 3 in the final round of the double overtime to win it as well. It wasn't just kills here and there. He had impact after impact after impact. Shazam's going to try and do exactly that toward the Pistols. Inside of A, they flash out, both walk into the same rough position, so didn't even have to reset his aim too much to find both kills. As Ricky heads to mid, Mac-10, free fire on the white box, spots Olaf, takes him down as well, just a tread left. And he will depart us now.
Now we should talk about cash in general. compLexity starting the T side. They've got a 4-0 start, but it is technically a T-sided map, but remember, they don't really have any pressure here. It's all on FaZe. They're the ones who have not performed to their potential at this event. FaZe has been very up and down the last year. They're coming into this event with Adren. They managed to win a trophy earlier in the year at E-League, but didn't expect to see them down at the 1 and 2 at this stage of the tournament. Loses best of 3, they are out. This time, though, the orb's in the hands of Nico and Guardian. So the double orb set up brought out as quickly as they can, but it is going to be an execution here. compLexity trying to use that momentum and capitalize upon it. It's going to be Nico to find the first frag, but they are out of the main entrance.
He's got to move around the site. He's got to be dynamic in this position because they've already got, as you say, inside of the site, and Rain and Olof aren't yet in tight positions. Nico's gone. Off couldn't do it. Olof does push. He won't go past the flames down the site. They'll try and get the default plant now. Smoke on top of them does, in fact, shield the plant. Keeps Olof at bay for now. It's Guardian and Rain also with him at the truck. Def, Ricky. They want to try and swing it back out. Nothing's holding toward A main. And Adren's lost track of him, so it's bought time for Adren before he can get on the highway. It's going to be basically straight 3.
Wow.
They tried to flash it in. Blinded still. Olof got it. This comes to nothing. He pushes the smoke. It was a bold idea. Ricky's had to keep himself alive with the smoke on top of the flames. They know exactly where he is. And a Mac-10 to hold against 3 rifles. So far, so good. Not going to happen for the second. They'll have just enough time. FaZe, I say just enough, quite comfortable actually, to find their first round.
First of many, I assume, but we'll see how they go. They do recover the double orb setup. Guardian, Adren to survive. They've got an incendiary and a smoke as well, but they have to reinvest heavily here. Remember, that wasn't technically a real gun run compLexity. They've just been carrying that momentum. That's why they're going for these quick executions, trying to use the Mac-10, get stuck in. This is where the game really begins now. They continue to find rounds and reset FaZe. That would be amazing, but this is what they'll really be tested. Shazam, 7-1, brings out the orb for the first time as well. He is also looking very good individually right now. He could definitely give Guardian a run for his money as he heads towards B, round 6. Guardian actually in a similar position. You see him waiting towards heaven, not going to be challenging directly as he smokes in. That will slow everything right down.
Getting the first, but Def gets back onto Rain. Keep in mind, that's 1 round only for FaZe. 2 players stayed alive. They kept the double op in contention. They brought it around, but it's going to be a reset. Not if Adren finds Ricky walking into the vents.
A weird play from Ricky.
Bare peak.
Yeah, you've got presence in middle. You've pushed that CT back. You've got a 4-on-4, and he just runs through and dies.
These guys had a day off yesterday. compLexity, they would have worked on things. Just want to make note, we're critical of the fact that he was not on the double op setup. He tweeted that. I feel like he was responding to us and perhaps some of the people that we invigorated in joining that debate. Basically said, look, I joined the team recently. We haven't had enough time to go through all of the structure. It made the most sense for me to get onto a rifle for how quickly we had to adapt for this tournament. So fair play, I suppose.
When he's got the bottom stats in the team, you have nothing filling in. That's the problem, right? That's when it doesn't really make sense. You want to kind of get the most out of this player. Shazam doesn't quite hit the shot, but he does take a bullet. Takes him down to 12 HP. They've got another buy in the bag here, but this isn't impossible to win. It's just very unlikely. Adren just waiting for more sound cues. Doesn't want to give up any opportunities here. Run the clock down as low as possible as they make the choice to head back towards B. There's only 1 player there right now, but Adren can quickly rotate. Guardian with the AWP, not going to miss that shot. And he will start to rotate the back of the bomb, so it looks like he's recovered. And the round is theirs. 2 in a row for FaZe. They avoid the reset with 4 players surviving. As we said, 1 more buy available here for compLexity. Another chance to get back into it. But the scoreline is getting closer and closer. Here's Nico. Now off Meister, finding the initial kills. But remember, that trade came through. It was disappointing they gave up the frag straight after that one. But either way, round 7 coming through. Or for Shazam once again. Try to pick towards B before. They try and boost him in middle this time.
The double op's not yielding much so far again. Second round in a row, though. That's the important aspect. Losing that reset. Just go back to the Ricky point as well. We saw a number of peaks. Ouch. Stack. That hurts, Rain. We saw a number of times yesterday as well. I suppose 2 days ago now, their last series against Energy, when he did actually risk quite a bit. Did try and go a little bit too aggressive on his own. We've noted a few teams in this tournament as well, not necessarily using utility as they should. Nico up close, AWP, flash in. He's gonna go aggressive with the off, pretty much a shotgun at that point, and it's the stand-in. Nothing to find two on the AK-47. Smoke down toward the highway, one more in the sight. Jordan's got them all, a hat trick, and he's on for this plant immediately after. Bomb's gonna join, stand in his hands.
Remember, Rain was on 25 HP, that nothing through the grenade, so he doesn't even get any sort of assist or anything. That's 3 clean kills for him. Amazing stuff from nothing. As now Guardian and Adren will have to hold on to their weaponry. A basic approach there, but you can see FaZe, they're trying to take the game towards complexity at that point. The incendiary goes in, they flash off, and there's 4 teams waiting on the other side, and nothing mows them all down. No problem at all, and the CTs need to hold on to their weaponry. Nico, $250, Guardian, $650. Rain won't be able to buy either, so with these 2 save weapons, as long as both of them go to the next round, they'll be fine. It's a big if, though. You can see the T's triangulating around them. Not going to find them on the looks of things. And Dren towards Sunroom is the only threat, but no one coming in his direction. It's 5-2 on the T side. There's nothing. Looks very calm. Great moment from him.
He does. That was fantastic. It was a pretty audacious play to try and get the AWP in position on A-main without any information. Late flash in as well. That's it. That's the AWP that went down right there. Nico, gone. Sure, if no one's in there and he can get the angle toward the door, fantastic. But that is asking a lot of yourself to hit that shot.
They don't force this. Still winnable with Guardian's AWP. The complexity need to feel this out properly. Can't just challenge the choke point and assume it'll be clear. That's what they need to do. The smoke's in. Procedure is deployed. Molotov towards checkers. Just remove options for Guardian. He does play the B bomb site. He hasn't changed things up.
Flash directly in the face of Olaf, tries to spray after with the Deagle. Transitions over to the forklift. Had an interesting conversation with the No Majors Club yesterday about this map, and one of the things that most people agreed needed to be changed perhaps is that forklift. Is that going to be in the next version of this map or not? We know that there's one being hinted at. Whether or not that's going to be implemented, that's up for debate as well, but Rain good push. Nearly danced in the corner away from Def as well, but Def serves death as Rain goes down.
It was almost 2 kills there for Rain. Managed to get a few bullets towards Def in the process, but they still have a fighting chance here. The AUG of Adren could be enough. As it will be Def now. I'm at 54 points of health, challenging towards middle. It's going to cost him his life, and they're being a little bit clumsy now. 4 versus 2. 40 seconds remain. Shazam going to smoke towards CT spawn. Guardian, though, he's getting at least one of these, isn't he? Doesn't miss many shots, this boy. That's no different. Bomb goes down.
He's trying to close back in. They gave up 1 in between. That actually means they take the advantage back. No force on this, you said it. They kept the AWP, carried it over, and now they find themselves back in the driver's seat. It's not really a reset, though, is it? Because complexity's got enough residual. They'll bring out the AKs right away. Nothing's got 5250. He grabs an AK as well. There will not be an AWP because Shazam, he's $800 light of it.
This suggests to me with this sort of buy, they got to go for another little set piece in the Mach 10 in first, get as many smokes down as they possibly can, let Ricky get close to the bomb site and see if they can overwhelm this double AWP setup. That's the best sort of approach, especially with a team that pound for pound isn't as strong as FaZe. Get all those smokes on the side, make things uncomfortable. They'll head towards A. It's exactly that. They're going to go for the set piece here. The CTs need to be very careful. They've tried this boost. They've been sprayed down. They've been naded. They've tried aggression. It hasn't worked out. And they could get caught boosting up at this point. If they go now, this could be very problematic. Nico starts to fall back. Olofmeister in position.
He's got the first already. Olofmeister was in position, but held there. He can sit on the sidelines for the rest of the round. Def with a double. Shazam gets Rain. Guardian already back inside of middle. They've responded. You're right. It was a fast play. Good call by you. Good spot on the nades. Guardian just wants to serve damage any way he can. Def's up to a 3rd kill in the round. Pretty consistent player for complexity throughout this event. I wouldn't say he's been far and away quite like Stan, per se, but he's been there. He's been in the games every single time. Hasn't had a poor performance to say.
We expect him to be a decent player. He hasn't dropped the ball at all in that department. Solid as Shazam closes it. That is problematic. It seems like FaZe, it's either push A main or go for that boost. They just need to maybe just play a standard round at this point. Let's let it build up instead of taking the fight to them. As they get caught, you can see that's Nico. He has to pull back the knife out completely. Throws all off to the walls at that point. I don't think that boost was the correct play. You've got all that firepower there. You just need to play in a default manner. That already went wrong once before when you're trying to get up there. as they get into the next round. There is cash available, but maybe a timeout required here, and indeed that will be called. Yanko not going to be happy about this. They lose this series, they're out of the major. I guess, as Jan has pointed to as well, Adren is sort of on a trial period right now for this event and see how they get on, see how it feels. I would assume Yanko's in a very similar position right now, trying to kind of fill the team out, whether it's a good click for both of them.
It seems like there's some mental blocks at times. They do have 2 Augs this time. It's Olaf and Adren to pick them up. But yes, you're absolutely right. Adren's on a trial period. That's an interesting note. Remember, it's Kerrigan that came in and took the helm of this team. And then it was Alu and Kiyashima that left to make room for the superstars of Guardian and Olaf.
Yeah.
The project never transpired the way that it should have. They, in theory, and with ambition, should be what Astralis is. That was the entire goal of this team.
We have a CT, I think, pushing towards A main. Indeed, it's Nico. We've seen this boost a lot this event, and no one's really pulled it off. But Nico isn't like every other player. He'll be waiting in position, and Guardian with the AWP holding towards the B storage right now. Vulnerable to grenades, but holding a more passive angle.
Adren wants to get aside the smoke. He's got to be careful. That goes both ways, that cap. That's not a one-way at all. Def could have spotted his ankle bone. Adren goes back, looks for the shots away. Barrels, Def's got a peek onto it. Even with the AUG, couldn't find it. Even scoped in, it's the AK instead, but Guardian stands tall. Has to be weary of the smoke in front, and he is. He goes back out to it as it fades, but he misses the shot on nothing. And are they going to explode on the B side or hold up? There's still one inside to find, but nothing's got the AWP. Didn't see him go to this weapon, but he wants to crack the site wide open.
He is low HP. That's why he's picked it up. He wants to see whether he can have some impact here. Just hold a tight angle like that. Wait for a mistake to be made, still a kill away. But for now, smoke towards highway from Stan. And also be deploying a Molotov towards the white box as well as they aim for mid-control here. Olaf Meister in position to shut this down, but he's holding right now. He has an incendiary, no flashes. Nothing. Will make his play towards B. Great shot from Stan. 4 versus 2 now. There's one player on the B side, and it's going to be Rain. He's got the flash, and actually the T's have flashed themselves there. This could still fall apart, but Shazam, what a shot that is. 9 seconds remaining, he pulls that one off. We need to see that from his POV. Unbelievable stuff. And Nico, no chance of winning this, man. No kit, 69 HP, and pretty far removed from the situation.
This is not looking good at all.
It's not, is it?
This is not what you expect. They're normally resounding in taking duels, aim everywhere. Adren goes down. Guardian does what he can, but still misses a second shot. Done. Jordan's hitting the shots right now.
I feel like they've come in with this mentality to say, we can't show them any respect. We need to be getting in their faces. And I can see that when Adren's play there. That is not a common angle. You do not hold with a rifle in towards B storage. You've got an AWP there. He goes down straight away. That applies all the pressure to the Guardian at that point. He goes down as well. All of a sudden, Shazam's hitting crazy shots, and it all falls apart. They just need to reel it in a little bit. I feel like they've come in thinking, oh, we're gonna bamboozle them. We're gonna get straight in their faces. We're not gonna let them do their defaults. But the fact they have the money in their favor, they're calling perfectly right now. compLexity have a great understanding of how to shut down this double AWP setup, which they seem to keep bringing out time and time again. It's not really working for them. And this is the shot I wanted to see. See you later, Rain.
Yeah, that's spectacular.
That round was almost over. They flashed themselves their compLexity, and Rain had a chance, but he didn't see that coming. That's a full reset as well. They save one M4, but they're only getting $1,400 per player. 7-3 down.
Stan already inside of A main. No one gonna peek on the A side. Back to pistols again on the side from Nico, who saved.
Like, I don't mind aggressive rounds of cash. It's one of the things I love about this map the most.
Yeah, you always talk about that.
But if they're waiting for you every time you're doing it, and it's failed 3 or 4 times now, and the boosts aren't working out, let's just play the default rounds. We'll kind of change the setups up, have 3 towards middle sometimes, get the AWP or a quad, leave mid open, whatever you want. Just mix those variations up. Like, it feels that they're trying to get in their faces a little bit too much here without being financially secure. They've got one M4 in the hands of Nico. Olaf goes down. Shazam doesn't seem to be missing much today.
Not at all. Finds Olaf immediately. Molotov behind quad. Get ready for truck. He's already got it lined up. Doesn't want to go fully into it. That's still worked out, actually. Nico got status loss. Shazam didn't need to kill his teammate. He just fired through his falling body and immediately got the kill back onto him. That allows Def to walk out from the door. And from the door into the site, he finds 2 toward the truck with the AK. Both go down, just Guardian. Again, on 1-on-4, it's going to go 8-3 for compLexity. These guys are soon becoming, and fast becoming, the pick'em pests, taking out NRG, and now you've got FaZe against the rope so far in map 1.
Now, a lot of people would just be focusing on like the negatives of FaZe right now, but compLexity are doing a fantastic job with the mid-round calls. The approaches they're coming into with each round, it's actually impressive to watch. They're hitting their shots. Right now, they actually look like the better team from what we've seen so far. And this very small sample size, of course. But it's Guardian holding on to the M4. He didn't invest anything into this round. They saved the M4 previously. So this was the eco. Not a massive amount to take away from this round. But still, another one on the board for compLexity here. We've seen them win cash before, like we mentioned, against NRG. Went to overtime, but still was a great game. Nothing's not missing much either. When he's coming online and looking sharp, that's a scary prospect. You've got 5 players hitting everything. Currently the top, Def and Shazam with 12 kills. Nothing with 9. Top fragger on the FaZe side is going to be Adren, 7 and 7. This was the kill you mentioned. Shazam almost got his teammate there, but it all works out in the end. And Def, a real big fan of his individual aim. The AK-47, get that in his hands and he will cause damage.
You can see the hesitation too. He didn't want to kill his teammate, and then he realized, well, I've got no choice.
Yes,
you're already dead at this point anyway. Take the shot. I'm surprised he hit it because he didn't even have any vision at that point.
Ooh.
And you are right. This is a rush. Guardian down. So much damage to both Def and Nothing. And Adren knows they've gotten tagged up, tries to lob an 8 in, but they're too far away. Still manages to get Ricky, but not before he found Rain. So it leaves us with just Olaf, Adren, and Nico remaining on the FaZe side. Again, they're locked out of the B site. Smoke's already down toward tree, and Olaf's backing off.
The calls are so good for compLexity now. They've read the money so well. Just when FaZe have enough of 5 rifles, chucking a B rush, Guardian doesn't have his orb. He can't counter that. He does a lot of damage, sure, but the 4 players in front of him, he gets dropped, and the rotating Rain will be taken down as well. It's going to be 9-3. FaZe are getting ran over here.
Absolutely are. They can't hold anything right now.
Well, they're getting outplayed tactically, I'm afraid. They don't have a response for this. Everything compLexity are doing right now, it's the perfect call. It's working out. They're hitting their shots. They can back it up with the firepower. They're going to find double digits soon. 3 weapons survive once again, but FaZe, not really much to report. No massive clutches coming in yet. A few scrappy rounds going in their favor. compLexity look very calm. Just to reiterate, this is a team that came into this segment of the tournament as the bottom seed. They managed to avoid 0 and 3. That means they don't have to go through the minors in North America for the next major. That was pretty much the objective of this squad. They've obviously got a stand-in playing for them right now, but they've got nothing to lose, and it's showing. They're playing very relaxed Counter-Strike. Nice calm calls, making it work, hitting the shots. Yeah, and no warp once again. FaZe needs some fortune.
Very much so. This is compLexity's map choice.
Still, FaZe play this. They've got some great results in this map.
Yeah, absolutely. But maybe not panic as of yet. The problem is the way in which they're losing is spectacular. Molotov forces Rain out. He does get the kill off, but that's more what we expect. Yeah. Even when they're forced to take duels, we expect that they're going to win them. They've got so much skill.
Well, those are the kind of plays they've been trying to make throughout. Like we said, that's the mindset they seem to have right now, is try and take the game to the terrorists. Finally, they'll get an opening pick and not lose anyone. But it's Ricky who's recovered the orb, and we know how good he can be with this weapon. That's the rifle for this team, not getting the most out of him, but now a rare opportunity to see whether he can swing the round in their favor. Shazam goes down, and Ricky will try and answer back as Def is dropped as well. Nothing. I'm so impressed with his level. The fact he's coming to this tournament and still looking like a pro is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, we said it yesterday. He's such a great mercenary, such a good person to go to. So much experience. He's done all the roles. Aside from primary hopping, he can. Probably wouldn't be my first pick for it.
Probably not going to be the
He's not going to be your go-to for that. That's the one rule, maybe not. But again, we talked about mouse sports. He was in Brazil with them last year, took them all the way to the final. Not he alone, certainly, but the fact that he was standing in and able to do that was impressive in its own right. And compLexity, impressive so far. 9-3. And looking like maybe a 10th as well. Bomb is planted. They don't have the advantage this time. Stanislaw only with 10 HP to work with, and already spotted out by Rain. That's going to put Ricky under pressure. Couldn't hit the op shot up close because he was trying to watch toward Truck instead.
It's Rain with 4 kills there. It all started with a boost towards middle. He manages to win the duel against Shazam and manages to get 3 kills after that. Still comes down to a tense situation, though. That was a wild. Ricky hits that shot towards A main, and he's comfortable in that position and hold off the approaching counter-terrorist there, but didn't work out for him as we get into round 14. This was the initial boost. Rain gets it done. You can see his frag total swelling in this round. He hadn't really done much before this, but it's good to see him arrive. As long as he can get 5-6 rounds, they'll be fine. But this is the timeout now. That's Yanko to chime in. He wants to make sure no mistakes are made at this point. He's noticed some of the errors that are going through. That double orb setup hasn't been too beneficial for them. It's Guardian has the orb now. He's 6-8 at this moment. Adren yet to buy. I assume he has a drop on the floor. Nico with an AK. He's the one on the secondary orb, and he is one of the best rifles on the planet. Maybe just keep him on the AK for now. That double orb is being shut down with the great utility of compLexity. They're making fantastic calls. They're stifling the orbs. There's nothing that above and beyond expectations. Can they shut down the economy for round number 15? It would be so much pressure on the FaZe boys if they did. Is the double nade again? I think it is. Rain took a lot of damage from this before, but I don't think anyone's going to receive it this time.
Oh no.
They're okay. All right, well, no one was there to receive them anyway, and they didn't do too much damage to themselves. It's okay.
Actually, I think the only damage Stan took was probably just the nade hitting him directly in the back. 3 HP? No, that would be 2 for an HE hitting? I can't remember. It's like so situational, right? It's not a stat I really think of all the time. Nonetheless, Shazam, he's already positioned himself toward B main. Ricky's going to cross in front. Nothing's already out inside of Toxic. So B execution looking extremely likely with 1:10 on the clock. They've already gathered all 5 there now, in fact, with Stan and Def joining in. Def's going to watch the lurk, make sure no one gets around on the flank. Molotov's down. That's going to force off Guardian. He manages to stay on top of the generator, from which you can only spot the second entrance at Checker. Smoke still down on the site. Adren's going to elevate himself as well to see around the smoke, but there's a timer on this. It's going to be doubled. They've already cleared one side. Second Molotovs again. So they're making it very chaotic. Adren's doing the only thing he can, trying to get above the flames, but he still burns alive, and Ricky's got Guardian. What an execution.
So
it was
good.
a double execution. They did it once. They caused movement. Just waited it out. Smokes were gone. They might have thought it was even a fake at that point. Boom, hit them twice.
Couldn't ask for more than that. If you execute and get them in positions where they feel extremely uncomfortable, you're burning one alive, you've guaranteed a round. It couldn't have gone better for you. That is beautiful stuff from compLexity. I didn't expect this level from them, I'll be honest. I thought FaZe would come onto this particular map, which you consider quite puggy. They could just run over them. But
and this does speak to the fact, okay, yes, Energy, everyone was saying was underperforming. Didn't go well. They lost to compLexity. Oh no. Everyone was pinning that as much on Energy as compLexity.
yeah.
Now we're seeing that compLexity is absolutely a force to be reckoned with right now. But not only that, I think this is even beyond the way they played against Energy. This is more organized. That was a battle. That was a brawl. We saw Stan get 45 kills on Nuke. It was multiple 1vx situation, clutches, close timings, diffuses that were missed by 0.03, if you remember.
That's right, yes.
That was a very different game than this. This is structured. This is team play.
It's a very good-looking T-side. Oh, nice shot from Ricky as well. He gets it all done. Nice to see him finding some confidence now. In that NRG game, we didn't see much from him, but he's having some high-impact kills now. Getting to the swing of things. Round 15. It was a reset, but with the 2 weapons saved at least, they do get a pretty reasonable buy. And there's going to be a Famis in there for Rain, but still workable for sure.
Molotov plus nade and flash. Nico needs to be aware of the fact that Stan is inside, and Nico can't hit anything right now.
That's just not required. That's a solo little push towards A main.
4 kills for Nico. 6 for Olaf. Rain on 8. He's normally Mr. Consistent. He's died 13 times. The other guy's at least saving weapons here and there.
I think out of the 5 times they've pushed that position, they've come out on top once. You'd think maybe they're onto something here. Maybe they're aware we might push towards this position. If you do send 2 or 3, sure, you're probably going to win the fight, but just one guy going in, it's certainly not ideal. Olaf Meister makes his way around, and it's another lackluster attempt. They've got so much time here, Matt. They don't have to commit to this, but in they go. There's going to be nothing to lead the charge. There's a player towards Forklift, though. He's been overlooked. That's Guardian. Bomb goes down, but not for long. It's absolute bloodbath here. And it's now going to be a 4 versus 1. Adren has almost got 0 chance here. Wait for it.
And he knows where one is. He knows Shazam's locked in the corner, trying to dodge the flash, gets close, gets closer still. The nade helps him out so much, but Stanislaw trumps with position again. He's got 3 in the round, and it's 11-4. compLexity at half.
Do not adjust your sets. The scores are correct. It is FaZe down 11-4 on the CT side of Cash. I'm sure they can bring it back. They're just starting to get warmed up. This is going to be a long series, complexity, but it couldn't have started in a better fashion. 11-4 at halftime. We'll see if they can win the pistol and close this out. We'll be back after this break.
The fickle nature of the crowd seems to be something that's all too common. You can't really be blamed for being convinced now. This was the prediction at the start. 18% said compLexity would win it over FaZe. It has shifted significantly this time. And I think everyone agrees that compLexity is quite well and comfortably in the lead. The Red Tie Army sitting on 11 and 4 only for FaZe.
Shout out to Stanislaw for his calls in the first half. Absolute masterclass in how to play Cash. Really well done, carrying through the momentum. And now they'll find themselves 11-4 lead on the CT side of Cash. Win this pistol, it could be a quick finish here. But FaZe are tenacious and deadly. They know they've got a chance. If they can get this pistol, they can bring this right back. They've got the skill to do it. Nico challenging towards a connector. Won't do any damage, but they have got mid control. They know they've sent him packing there.
Rain already up mid. They've got the smoke at the top side of Highway as well, so he can push straight through, and that's what he intends to do. He'll go with the teammate, former Olaf Meister, and together they want to overwhelm Def, but they need to be careful not to get caught off by Ricky. If they tunnel to the left, he'll be perfectly positioned to catch them down, and thankfully they do spot him, but it slows their pace considerably, and not to mention, there's 4 over on the B side, so if Bomb wants to go that way, this isn't a foregone conclusion. It's still in B main, but that's a long way back across the map. The fact that they win out the kills in the backlines, though, makes it very difficult. Nothing now has to hold the corner while not being spotted from heaven and still find a kill when they cross. He's done that somehow. He goes aggressive and does more than just that. He's looking for additional kills, but he's got to get them all too, and he needs 2 more as his teammates all fall. He's on 13, and they're not even going to mess with him.
Great work by Nothing, but at this point, it looks unlikely he can win this round. It would have to be something remarkable at this stage to stand a chance. FaZe do split up. Nothing will find a kit at least. He's got a decoy as well. Could bounce that around this corner, pretend it's a flashbang, but if he finds his low HP player, which he won't. Oh, okay, I thought there was a chance. He's going to turn around and get him. It will be FaZe picking up the pistol there. Some moments of doubt as well. You were right, the B stack there from the CTs could have been the unraveling of FaZe Clan there. They get through the connector. They thought they had a chance to shut it down completely. Luckily, they hit most of their shots and didn't get too punished by the B stack. It's nothing against a couple of frags and pushes them back towards A. But if he had a bit more HP, maybe he stood a chance there. Nice work from Nico to close the round out. Is there a force buy in response on the CT side? There is. They did this a lot over the course of the tournament. I'd actually say relatively successfully. It's Def with the scout. CZs are out as well. 5-7s, and Rain is committed towards middle. He'll actually take Shazam down to 22 HP. And at this point, Shazam with the armor can't really do much of this now. Just hoping he can hold an angle and get a 1D.
So many talking points around FaZe's performance. Even if they survive this series, we're still just starting the second half of game 1 of a best of 3, so let's not jump to any conclusions.
Yes.
When you think about the nice shot, Def.
Hello?
Wow, 2-man advantage. He got the one at B main. It was an equally great kill toward Highway. Rain's got Def back with the AK, letting him try and get inside of the B site with a flash from main. 2 through the vents. Shazam, it's an interesting little bounce smoke. It's almost like coming through tunnels on B on Dust 2. You just hold it to the wide side, you keep your vision, you get inside, and nothing does exactly that to at least refortify the B site.
Give them a chance if they commit, he can actually do some damage, slow them down. They still have the man advantage here, but they haven't recovered any weaponry. Time ticking away, 35 seconds now. Need to work out where they can deliver this bomb. It seems like they'll commit towards the B side of the map. They need to hurry up at this stage. CTs surrounding them and damage being done.
Rain gets nothing, they force him out. Shazam has to push the smoke. He's caught off by a Dread, so it looks like the round's back into control. A few shots in through smoke themselves from Rain, and does he consider pushing it? Stan gonna try and go back around to mid. They know there was a gun down on Highway. Is it still there? It is. It's an AK-47 as well, which is a lovely thing to grab if you're on the CT side.
Now, do they want to go for this?
I think save the AK maybe, try and trap them in at this point in time. Ricky's got a good position. You know what? Inside of the vents, if they get 1 kill here, tough call to make now. Unfortunately, he was committed, but couldn't get the AK back. Olaf really wanted to try and reach up and grab it. FaZe's performance, though, MIBR looked shaky. People were saying they're back after yesterday, right? They're into the playoffs. We're starting to see them come alive, and I sincerely hope they are too, because one of the most exciting teams in Counter-Strike, undoubtedly, when they're on form. Na'Vi, the state of things with them, Zeus's interview. Wow, Def just nailed that.
Yeah.
That's even hard to see. It's slow motion.
Those 2 kills came in very quickly. Could have been the end.
The point I want to make is top 4, I thought, was a lockout in this event. Now you've got 3 teams struggling so considerably. Liquid and Astralis are fine. Who can sneak in? A team like Renegades, can they make it to a semi-final at this point?
Perhaps.
I mean, there's a lot available right now.
They look very good right now. Their kind of approach to the game is spot on. They're getting the most out of their star players. There's a serious conversation to be had. The Renegades could go all the way and maybe get to a semi-final. Who knows? Maybe a bit further. But this should be a round for FaZe. Guardian making his way out of the main entrance there with the Mac-10. He had 3 players in front of him, but he might not pull the trigger straight away. Yep, great stuff by him. Wow. That's going to get him so much cash going forward.
Absolutely. He's 4,300. The round's not even over. He still has the Mac-10 full HP. If he gets another one, he's got an op already in the bank before the time even expires on this one.
Now they get the same sort of momentum that compLexity had in that first half. They'll have the leftover Mac-10s here. They know compLexity force-born the second. They won't necessarily have the incendiaries, maybe not the AWP, but Shazam has got that. So do they want to hold on to the Mac-10s or upgrade to a sniper and keep this kind of looser gameplay up?
8150 for Guardian after that round.
He buys the AWP, just to know. So there we go. Question answered. I guess they can't really mess around with these sort of situations. It was the first half. I'm sure they would keep the Mac-10s, but right now Guardian does need to step up against Shazam, who's got 15 kills and 7 deaths. Guardian's on 11. Going to put the Highway boost here. CT's in that position right now, so you can still stay up there for a good 20 seconds or so. Get a bit of intel what's one going on. Doesn't have to be a kill. Once you spot CT's there, you'll get some idea of what's going on here.
He'll hold the angle, Guardian, with the truck boost. It's very situational, very uncommon. You actually get a pick from it, but doesn't cost you anything to do. It's not like they're gonna have a chance to get the shot back on you unless they have an absolutely perfect read. So FaZe starting to close the gap. compLexity, just to note, it's 5 rounds in a row. I'm trying to see back quickly, I can't find it. I think most of their halves have been won or lost on the T side, so the CT's been a little bit evasive for them. And that could have to do with some of the communications, again, of being a newer team. If Stan's calling, it's one thing to execute, it's another thing to rotate and be spot on with your teammates, play off each other correctly, get timings right, without sort of a set play, with reaction calls.
This is the setup we spoke about, leaving middle open and having your AWP towards quad. The problem is when that highway smoke comes in, it does make things pretty uncomfortable. Shazam will have to fall back towards the bomb site here. FaZe are going to finish up at A, but will they make the entrance clear?
They know where the op is now. On the site, Def on the forklift, finds only one. Looked like he could follow through on the second, but the flames at his feet. Nico's already deep. Stan and nothing with it all to do in a 2 versus 4, and Guardian's already holding toward the truck. Now FaZe looking more like the team we know. And nothing, I don't think, will do anything. Nothing will do nothing.
I think that's accurate. He doesn't have anything to say about this situation. He'll be holding the M4 and waiting for terrorists that are hunting for the final frag here. But the gap is being closed slowly but surely. It's going to be 11-8 after this one. Loss bonus certainly there for compLexity, but the money right now isn't. They'll presumably lose nothing in this hunt from Nico. He's going to check the connector. I dare say hits this shot. Not going to happen. Nothing at least found. But does he get out? Going to grab the AK-47 and see if he can make it towards CT spawn. It looks like he's absolutely fine. Heads towards B. So we'll list to have that weapon going forward, but his teammates can't really join him with the rifles. They'll be able to get Deagle, CZs, maybe a scout. There's Olof Meister. Currently sat on 10 kills, 12 deaths. So things looking a little more stable now for FaZe. Having equally the good start. compLexity found. Great execution from them. You can see all the Molotovs deployed. Flushes those CTs out. Execution is all about making the defense uncomfortable. And that's certainly very effective. The Mac-10 against those unarmored heads can cause absolute chaos upon entry. Nico trying to beat the smoke towards middle, as you can see. That's not going to work out. They'll still probe towards A main, though. Rain actually dodging the flashbangs right now. That's why he's walking in backwards.
Ricky again. He loves this Zeus. He actually uses it in his gameplay. It's not a troll. It's not a meme. He's comfortable and confident, and that's why. 3rd kill he's gotten in this event on a Zeus. What's the record for Zeus kills in an event, Peter?
Oh, wow. I can't believe that looked so clinical as well. He's just like, oh, that's the sound cue I need. Here we go. Oh, there's the first frag. I've got an AK now, but Stan has gone down. It's a Dren that's removed. They now have 2 AKs on the CT side.
Guardian just checking quickly inside of A-Long. He knows that Ricky's gone up there and is potentially still holding it. Certainly is. Def's going to push out A main, so they know it's not an A. Shazam, he can't really leave middle. That's the only place they don't have information on, but he seems to be trusting of himself, and he'll go over toward nothing and try and hold the line at B.
Nothing has 2 flashbangs here, and the AK at the back. He's in the right position. Can he time this flashbang well enough?
Can he get away without a second Molotov landing? And they haven't thrown one so far. They're in the site. They're going to wrap to him. He just needs to make sure he's aware of the fact that they're already on the platform, goes for it. It was the right play. It baits in Ricky because he took away the angle. Guardian, he didn't have any clue. He walked out, he was dead to rights, not spotted, and the wrong gun in hand. Def's got him down. Now the round opens up. Nico has to plant the bomb. He's only got 20 HP, and they're all over him. It's going to be compLexity getting there first on the CT side.
What a round it is as well. It all starts with a Zeus. The taser comes out towards the squeaky door. Adren didn't expect it. And you did mention it. It's not a gimmick. It's Ricky happy to use that weapon at his key choke point. Seems to have a great understanding of how to use that weapon very effectively. If you can get that AK, fall back safely, and funnel them towards your other rifle, that's gone very well indeed. Nothing gets won, but it's the pistols backing him up that do most of the damage there. And they're right back in this now. The double orb setup. Remember, it's Def and Shazam. This is when things started to look a bit uncomfortable against NRG when they pulled this setup out. But maybe they've refined it. It's going to be Ricky going for the aggressive pick. Just going for a shoulder peek just to see what was there. Shots go off, and surely he doesn't go back for another one. I would say when you know the orbs there and other players, that wasn't worth the repeat, but 5 versus 4. That will slow things right down for FaZe. They know there's going to be some sort of reaction. Def hits that shot. So there is a reaction, they expect it, but he hits an amazing shot there. Well done.
Incredible. 4 rounds to go for complexity. Reset potential, absolutely a factor, but the fact that they want an eco, they'll have some residual. Shazam has 4250 currently. Ricky's got 4250 as well. Benefit of that Zeus, if you're there with one target like that,
yeah,
you're within range of picking up a gun instantly. It's not like a pistol where sometimes you can't get to the rifle. You're gonna get them. This time, the rifle's already in hand. They're finding the kills. Guardian's down. And it's just Olaf and Adren to try and get back to A. Bomb down inside of main, and Adren's gonna wrap in the long way from the door. Does spray the one, but Stan turns his attention directly back his way, and it's all to Olaf. And he's gonna have to be perfect in this situation. So far, he finds the first onto nothing, but he'll die immediately after. Held to only 11 kills, 18 for Def leads the way, and it's 13-8 complexity, 2 in a row.
Maybe too aggressive there from Ricky. He goes down early on, and like we said, there has to be a reaction from the CTs. FaZe were happy just to sit there for 40 seconds at that point and see what's going to happen. It's Def pushing towards the B bomb site. Somehow, some way, makes that shot happen, keeps pushing them in towards A, and Stanislaw comes to life. What an amazing player. So well-rounded, the in-game leader as well, fragging out of his mind, and got FaZe down to an eco here, Matt. They've got P250s, no armor, 1 flashbang. This will be 14-8 in favor of complexity against FaZe. Pretty remarkable scenes. The only danger is here, if the Orb misses a couple of kills and goes down with nothing, and that happens, exactly that, there could be a chance that FaZe can steal this one.
Ricky gets 2 on the way through, though. Guardian, at least overwhelming him with the pistol, will allow them to get onto the site. And he's got an AWP. It's Adren that's actually going to hold it. They've got an AWP nonetheless. And he'll throw it over now. Put it in the hands of the man who's one of the best in the world on the weapon. Bomb planted on the single kill, and he's going to hold a tight angle. Smoke down makes it very difficult for him. Looks to highway, still finds the shot. He's been in this situation far too many times to be fooled by a single bit of utility. Tries to even use it to his advantage. Desperate to hit one. He's going to try to hide inside, but they spot him, stand above, and he knows where Adren is. He's running, panicking, trying to get back inside of it himself to stay alive longer, to bait out the time, but it's too late. It's 14 for complexity.
As long as they win the round, they're happy with that. As we said, the only danger there was, if the ult went down with nothing, he gets 1D'd at the very start. They pick that weapon up and it goes in the hands of Guardian. He could be in for a rough ride there, and still, they managed to overcome it. Great retake. They get round number 14 on the board. That's all that matters. Sure, they lost a lot of manpower there, but still, it's Stanislaw. Great play from him, anticipating the push from Guardian. Manages to close it out with the USP. They get the defuse going already. 2 rounds away from success here in the first map.
Double op set up again. Dual M4. Actually electing to use it still too, but no complaints, it's working for them. The augmented discussion certainly has calmed down a little bit this week.
I think so.
I think it just shows that we're seeing more of the tactical teams again, right? They're showing that they could still, first off, they got the higher skill, they could take the fights. But secondly, good execution is still going to overwhelm a single player with a gun.
And we kind of had this feeling going into this stage of the tournament, we would kind of see that myth busted almost, like, but the more tactical teams that come through, they can shut down the Orc. That's a nice shot from Olaf Meister. Def, I like the confidence from him to actually push that position. Shows he's able to frag against these guys, confident in doing so, but it does cost him the first kill, nothing. It's going to avoid the flames, but Stanislaw with the reaction. How good is this guy?
Yeah, what a performance from him. He's been around for a while. He's been in Liquid, he's been in a number of teams in North America, but man, oh man, this is a showcase from him. I didn't see this skill from him before. He's on another level currently. 3-on-3, bomb planted again for FaZe. Not really any access directly inside of the site for the CTs. Ricky's peeking it. Shazam's slowly lurking up to highway as well with the AWP, and speaking of a lurk, that's a full flank from nothing. He's got the AK in hand. All 3 of the extremities covered off, with the exception of A main. Obviously, that's going to be occupied based on the plant, but Ricky's already cleared it. He's got Guardian down. Adren dancing on the smoke. Rain's got to be aware of the fact that they can sneak in behind Red Pretty. He is, but he misses the shot and nothing. He gets Adren. This is going to be 15 complexity. They've got time in the defuse. It's map point.
Oh, this is so wild. 7 in a row for overtime. Complexity hold their nerve once again. They're looking so efficient. They're making the right calls. They're flanking with good timings there. And it's FaZe desperately trying to hold on to this, but it's not happening. They get the plant down again. They've got decent loss bonus they can buy here. But what do they bring out? Guardian with the AWP. Top fragger on 15. Olofmeister below him on 13 there, but Nico will call for the timeout. They have one remaining. I guess you might as well use it right now. It's Map1 for compLexity, who have played a perfect cache so far. They've been refining this the last night or so. You can see any issues they had certainly been resolved. They're not scared to take peeks. They're not worried about potentially dying here. You're seeing that in Def's gameplay towards B. He's getting information at least. And sure, he went down to the start of the round. They still win it. This is not looking too good.
And you said it as well, FaZe. It was only a 4-team event this time for E-League.
Yes.
But they still won that. Split series with Cloud9. They lost to them in the earlier stages of the event, but they won it in the final. Maybe that was cause for concern. Maybe Cloud9 and giving them trouble, but either way, they would have been confident coming into this and had an event to polish up on. It's not really shown so far in this new Legend stage.
FaZe don't look like world beaters right now. This is the bottom seed at this stage of the tournament. And they're on the ropes right now. They need 7 in a row. They do have a bye for this round. Bomb still down towards the T-spawn area. That is going for a very tentative default right now. Adren back towards Squeaky Door. Get a few rounds in a row, break down the money. This is still technically possible, of course. But it could all come crashing down here.
Waiting to see if they'll get a pick toward mid. Not even really covering off door. The problem is with that as well. Jen's going out there now. He's gone. Ooh, consider himself lucky. Good dink in return on Ricky. The fact that they were held up so much in middle and not really running a standard default, now that Olof's over toward B, it gets a little more normal. But that could have cost them dearly. It still has forced them off of the door and off of A main. They'll try and retake it now. Adren going back in that position, expecting that with his dink, there won't be anyone there, and he's right to assume so. Go inside mid. Def doesn't want to retake it. He'll have heard the nade that was thrown toward the top of highway from that position. He's going to get inside the vent as well. Nothing has to be careful here. 2 to face down in B main, and Stan's in the open. Stan is in the open, but he's covered it off. Ricky's got a dread, and they lost nothing, but now Stan, having won his duel, can still hold the B site. Forced back by the flames, but he can get behind the box. They threw it to force him out, and they gave him room to fight. He will. He gets 2, and it's on to just Guardian. compLexity might take Map1 right now. Unless he can absolutely pull off a miracle with 6 seconds left. There's no time to plant. 2 good shots, but it's over. He didn't get there in time. It's done. compLexity on time. Bomb almost touched the ground. It was so close, but it's done.
compLexity came into this best of 3 with nothing to lose, but now with it all to prove. That was absolutely fantastic. That T side was perfect. They lost a few rounds in the second half as well. They were absolutely tested there. They had to take ecos, they had to refine their setups, but Stanislaw, Def, nothing. They all looked so good. Amazing performance from them and FaZe. Yet to see anything remarkable from them. They're not living up to that superstar mantle just yet. We need to see them bounce back here, man.
Unbelievable. Yes, we do need to see them bounce back. Yanko was trying to rally the troops toward the end the last time out on Map1. He's going to have to do that again now in the break. FaZe is not at all where they expect to be. 1 map left. Do they go home? Does compLexity move on to tomorrow? We'll find out. We're going to take a short break and join the desk.